Do you know that the actions and the inactions of people are actually the outward expressions of their beliefs and value systems? Welcome to the conversation. I am your host, Egena Elvis, and this is a program where we seek to gain insight from people who have gone ahead of us to help us make better decisions as individuals and generally become better people in the society. And today, I'm honored to be having an interesting conversation with someone titled Value System and How It Affects Us Today. Our guest today is a veteran, father, is a grandfather. This is someone that has been around for over 7 decades in this world. Without further ado, join me as I welcome Alhaji Muhammad Hadi Balarabe. Good morning, sir.
Good one.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Sir, it's been said that a man's action is the sum total of his belief and value system. What would be your definition of the concept of value system and what role it plays in one's life today, sir?
Well, similar. You see, well, we don't have really one single definition of value system because it varies from one society to the other, or even from one family to the other. But for our purpose here, I think personally, I can define it as a value system, a chain of conducts and behaviors in a given home or in a given family or in a given society. So if we take our community here or our society here in Kazan State, which is predominantly a Muslim state, we can say that, well, you cannot divorce the religious aspect from the traditional aspect of the value system. So when we say it's a chain of behavior and the conducts of a particular group, so by implication we are saying that uh, the definition here is that a set of moral behaviors which is recognized by both the traditions, we can say House of Land traditions, and the Islamic religion. So those accepted norms are the value system in this society.
So, what role does these values play in one's life
Well,
as an individual?
you see, definitely in each society, the value, the values of a particular society plays, or rather play important roles in shaping the life of individuals in the society or in a family or in a clan even. Because what, 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 what is accepted within a particular group may not necessarily be accepted in another setting. So you see, these things are not really taught in a formal way, but there are behaviors that are given from one generation to the other, a kind of heritage, so that one grows up and sees himself behaving and conducting himself in such a manner that is accepted as the norms of a particular group. So if you are a successful person in life, it means uh, the reason for that success is the kind of training one receives informally, rather, from his ancestors or parents, so to say.
Okay, kindly share with us about your upbringing and some of the values that were instilled in you as a child growing up.
Well, you see, personally, as a Muslim, when my father was an Islamic scholar by excellence, so largely our conduct behaviors in the family, when we come out of the home, in schools. So it's almost in accordance uh, with the teachings of the religion of Islam. So even when we go to schools, it's a kind of continuation of that uh, kind of training. So from this point of view, I personally feel feel that there are four fundamental things that uh, leads or rather shape my upbringing. First, uh, I was taught to believe that the area of faith, my faith is not negotiable. One, two, my integrity is also not negotiable. Three, I would put it in this way: uh, the group and the personal security are also not negotiable. And finally, with the right of some other people apart from members of our family, of our group, of our society, is also sacred. So therefore, whatever one intends to do in life, he looks at these four things. If you are going to do something, first you have to think about, will it affect my faith? Secondly, will it negatively affect my integrity? Thirdly, you have to consider, will it negatively affect your security? And fourthly, you have to consider whether this particular action you are taking will be detriment to the other people's right. So anyone which fails is just going to do that thing, unless and only if the four conditions are full positively, then you can go ahead and do it, and you are sure that all things are going to be right.
Wow. Okay. In your opinion, sir, what are the core values that are most important in northern Nigeria? And how have they influenced your life? Aside the ones you've talked to me, your personal one now, I'm going to the larger group, northern Nigeria. What
You
are
you
the
see,
core values?
you see, Northern Nigeria is a geographical entity uh, which consists of so many diverse groups in terms of tribes, in terms of religion, in terms of locations, in terms of so many traditions, which are not even viewed from the religious point of view. But when we consider, I was really around 10, 15 when the no, I was around, I think I was around 16 when the first military coup took place. That was in 1966. Uh, I was particularly interested in the way our affairs were being managed at that time, because we had a regional government then, not the federal government did less than what the regional government is doing to us. Considering the complexity of the northern
Nigeria.
geographical area, you have to commend those our leaders at that time, because they were able to move along with everybody, regardless of his color, his tribe, his religion, or whatever. This up to this day, I don't see any person which can match those leaders we unfortunately lost, because they are dealing with their subjects as human beings, who has right, equal right for that matter, with all the other
People.
people in the geographical in the region. So we can say that the values of the importance of those values in that region, in a nutshell, we can say is justice and fair play. The moment, even in the Nigerian context today, if that is guaranteed, I think most of our problems will be solved. The leaders must be just and give a fair level playground to everybody and provide opportunities equally so that uh, the packets of nations within the region or within the country will not feel that they are relegated in any way. So I think the emphasis here is to emphasize the application of justice and fair play.
Okay, so picking up from the example you mentioned earlier,
Yes.
when the regional government was in force, was that what was obtainable then?
Well, that
Was that what was the justice and fair play you mentioned?
well,
Was it obtainable that period?
you see, you see, I think I personally, and this is my personal opinion, I think those who toppled that government at that time were not fair to themselves and were not fair to the country because I didn't see how the the, the, the the north or the south or the east or the west, which is a kind of semi-independent government running their affairs. I don't see how you can accuse any particular region of dominating the other. After all, politics is a game of numbers. If you had an election and some people won, then it's your own problem. You don't apply your failure, you do a kind of transfer of aggression for your failure to other people. So, particularly, the nasty thing is that there were bloodshed. So, that was the most heinous thing I can recall. Because had it been that the government was toppled without that bloodshed, even the civil war wouldn't have been fought. Definitely,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Have you observed any changes in the value system of northern Nigeria over the years? And
Well, there are a lot of changes because you see, during that time, you can say that the world itself is was locked within itself. But now it is open. Uh, you can say that the globe now is one location. Wherever you are in this world, you are just living in the same location as everybody. So when the world was locked, the cultures do not easily influence other cultures or religions influence other religions or other social ideologies influencing
the other.
others. But now, with so many advancements around, well, so many things have changed. Because when you consider the other time, when it is night time, we retire home, just we depend on nothing but folklores. And these folklores were narrations of everything that is said in it. There may be lessons in it, but it had something to do with our culture, with our settings, even with our religion. But what of today? Today you have 1,001 television stations, international stations that can send a lot of images that can influence uh, the behavior, the characters, even the values completely of one society, from one society to the other. For instance, during our time, even at the very young age, we don't freely mingle with opposite sexes. When the boys were making their play, they do it separately, and the girls did their own separately. But look at us now, today. We are talking of same-sex marriage. What kind of it's just unbelievable for someone who got the kind of training we had to start thinking that having a same-sex marriage is a right, and there are even groups fighting for it. You see, so a lot of changes, you can name one thousand and one of them. Yes,
Sir, one of the things that caught my attention while you were answering this question was when you mentioned the kind of training you had.
yes,
I believe that could be the dividing line between us
Ex-
and your generation.
exactly,
So please
exactly.
share with us some of those trainings specifically
You,
and
you,
how they influenced you
you,
to become who you are now.
you see, you are right when you say that the dividing line between that generation and your generation, because I am considering that there is a kind of dislocation between uh, generation past and the present generation. Let's give an example with the northern Nigeria situation. You see, I was meant to understand that the ownership of a child is not restricted to his parents alone. It was not. At that time, the child is the child of everybody. Any elderly person feel that it was his duty to correct wrong behavior of the young ones if he sees it, regardless whether it is the parents or the mother or the father or the senior brother or whoever. As long as you are an elder in a society, you are duty bound to correct misbehavior if you see it, because the society accepted, believed, and accepted that the child belongs to everybody. Because if that child is spoiled, he may influence others. So I can say that what we are lacking today is that unity of purpose in terms of training and the upbringing of our children today. You see, if you have a computer system, let me give you an example. You have to have a monitor because you can understand what you are doing.
True.
Without the monitor, when you pitch the keyboard, you are just beating in the bush. So this is exactly what we found ourselves in. At that time, there was a very effective monitoring system. If you are inside the house, your father, your mother are there monitoring what your behavior was. Your senior brother or sister are also helping in the monitoring of your behavior. When you come out of the home, because the society accept that it is an entity, the neighbors feel it was their responsibility to monitor all the children within the group. So even when you are walking on the road, let's say you went out of the home, you travel, you track of about say 2 kilometers away from your home. Any elder person who saw you doing the wrong thing will correct you. So as I have said, to cut it short, there was an effective monitoring system at that time. But today this is lacking.
So how did we got that
Parents
wrong,
feel
sir?
that
Exactly.
parents feel that they are the sole owners of their children. No one has the right to interfere. So even if a teacher in the primary school punishes a child, it's not surprising to see that the mother or the father comes to the school and inquire why his child is punished. So in such a setting, I don't think we are doing the right thing. Therefore, these changes must happen. Yes.
Okay. Now that's one aspect. The other aspect I would want us to talk about is the desire to become somebody.
Mhm.
These days, the pressure I want to say the pressure is higher
Mhm.
because you're constantly bombarded with the picture of who an ideal successful person is supposed to be, and whatever you don't have up to that, it's as if you're not there yet. Not minding that you could have been successful in other aspects. So, see, please share with us, how was it in your
You
days?
see,
What was success then?
you see, in those days, uh, you are we were in almost everything we are guided. We don't have to have our ambition so early like what obtains today. I hope you get my point.
Yes, sir.
You see, sometimes it is your parents who decide when to go to school or which type of school you are to attend. For
Okay.
instance, considering myself, I didn't go to primary school until I have finished reading the Holy Quran from cover to cover.
Wow.
So my father said that he will not take me to primary school. This is what he wanted me to do, and I had to comply. So you see, I don't have the choice at that age. But if you trust your parents, you will know that no one loves you more than them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And therefore, they will not put you in a situation whereby your life is going to be a failure. So when I finished that, I went to primary school. Then I finished the primary school. I sat for the common entrance examination. I I was opportune to be enrolled in one school called the Craft School in Mashi.
Okay.
It's still there in Mashi, but the name has changed.
Okay.
But my father again said, no, he don't want me to go to that school. I even cried, I could recall. He insisted, and I had to comply. So that made me to repeat another year in primary school in order to sit again for the common entrance examination and then proceed. He wanted me to go to a teacher's college where Arabic and Islamic studies are given priority. And so it has been so. I went there. I graduated as a grade 2 teacher in 1972. So it is only then that I started to start thinking of what to be in life.
Wow. After your graduation.
I have become a complete trained teacher. So, uh, and I realized that from that time, I was given a kind of freedom to decide things for myself. Given the fact that you have been trained very early in your life to insist on guarding your faith, protecting your integrity, do not risk your security, and you don't infringe on the right of others. So that was the guiding principles. So whatever I do, even today, this is my consideration. If I intend to do something, no matter how ambitious I am about a particular thing, the moment one of these criteria failed, then I will leave it. And I can still recall I lived with my father uh, up to 2000 when he was alive. He died. He passed away in 2001. Even up to that time, sometimes when I wanted to refer some issues with him, then I realized that he's no more there. Then I come back to these guidelines. So they have been. This have been my criteria of judging things for quite some time. And I'm lucky. I'm happy. Still, my mother is alive.
That's interesting.
You see, so I can even today I can refer to her. This is a problem I am facing. What is your opinion? So, but today, the youth of today don't listen to anybody. This is the problem.
Okay, so I'm going to advocate for us now, the youth of today. Could it be that we didn't have people to listen to?
This is why I said there was a dislocation.
Okay.
There was a dislocation because if the parents who came after us now, for instance, in my case, I have at least 25 children living. Some of them have got married. Some of them even gave birth to children. So, if to say that they are to train their children the way we train them, maybe there will be a continuation. But now they have their own way of looking at things. And when you say you just have to interfere in everything, you'll just exhaust yourself, and even maybe you are knocked down. So you have to just look at things. Unless it is very necessary, we don't interfere. So this is a dislocation. But at that time, if to say my grandfather was alive and my father alive and I am alive, my grandfather will question my father, why did he allow me to do so and so? And whatever he ruled,
That's final.
that's final. But today it's not like that. The problem is the youth of today, they don't realize that their parents or their grandparents know much more than they know that the youth know. So because they found us less active in the society, they feel that we don't know so many things. So our opinions always is not in their interest. They will feel that we are stagnating them and not allowing them to grow. But the problem is, there's a saying in English that you can't eat your cake and have it. You didn't listen to the advice and the admonitions of the guidance of the elders. So you are building a completely loose system, which you don't have anything to refer
Back to.
back while organizing it. History is very important. We learned a lot from our forefathers, and we maintain them. But the bitter truth is that the youth of today are not willing to listen to the what they refer to as old old system. So this is a problem.
Okay. I think that's even the idea behind these things we're doing now. Because we realize that some of us may not have the privilege of growing under a stable family that will give you the kind of instruction that you had. And we realize that life doesn't have to be the way we have seen it to be.
But don't forget, I have told you that the society is not the same society we had.
Exactly my point, sir.
You see, because the society in our days, is just a kind of single entity.
Mm.
The problem of one family is the problem of the whole society.
True.
The success of one family is the success of the whole society. But today, even in our case, whereby we have more than one wives in the same home, if you don't be careful as a father, you will see that the stepmother cannot give any instruction or guidance to the children that are not hers.
Wow.
So there's a problem. But that this kind of thing can never happen at that time. It's not possible. The father's last word is always
Last word.
last word. You see. So, but today there's packets of interest that divided the society, even religiously.
Mm.
You see, and unfortunately, those who use religion or tribalism or whatever divide, they are doing it for their own selfish ends, not for the interest of the common good of the society.
Mm.
It is true. For instance, politicians will come and take an issue, magnify it to give you the impression that you are being cheated. But the fact their concern is not you as a voter, but their personal interest. And they can go to any length to achieve their
Mm.
objective. But unfortunately, again, the youth refuse to learn any lesson from these behaviors of the politicians. I can say they don't fail, but refuse. Because if it's a failure, it's not within your capacity,
True.
but it's refusal. Why? Because they are in a hurry. They want to reach a position which they think they cannot attain in just normal life. You see? But still, they want to enjoy with the same fear groups of the rich politicians.
Mm.
Very recently, I was giving a talk somewhere. I said that I am confused. Why? Because I see unemployed youth
Mm.
dressing like the son of a multi-billionaire. An employed youth using a a handset of over 500,000 or even 1 million. Where does he get that money? Because he allowed himself to be used
Mm.
against some other people. So his unruly behavior is being paid by some other interest group for their own interest, not for his own interest. Otherwise, if the youth can wait and think, why is it that his peer group, the son of the politician, is not participating in this kind of hooliganism?
Mm.
So I don't want to blame completely the youth, but most of them, most of what is happening is their fault. Because if even if one person as a youth is my child, if I try to correct him and he refused, am I going to fight him?
No, not at all.
I just have to look. But I will say that I have done my part. I've admonished him. I gave him all the necessary support. I paid for his education. I feed him. But he refused to learn
You.
from me.
Wow. Okay. This is getting more interesting
Yes.
because I just remembered something now, but I want us to finish some of the questions we have here
Okay.
before I bring it as AOB.
Yes.
What were some of the challenges or conflict you encountered when you were trying to uphold your personal values throughout your life
You
to this
see,
point?
this is really interesting question because you can't divorce yourself from your early training.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, when you are a grown up person, that training has been in you. It's just part and parcel of your personality.
True.
But when you join a larger group in the society, you will meet people with diverse approach to life,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll try to influence you. When when you refuse, they'll reject you. Some people cannot endure that rejection. They'll just, if you can't beat them,
You join them.
you join them.
Okay.
But if you insist, and in the long run, people will just allow you to go your own way of life. I could recall one of the challenges you talked. You see, it has been it has been a norm in governments. Just you create jobs to award contracts, not for the interest of the people you are serving, but for the interest of the kickbacks
Mm.
you are going to enjoy. I was a chief executive at one time. I think it was 1998. I think before I left service.
Mm.
You see, one governor summoned me and my commissioner. I was uh, I was the executive chairman of State Primary Education Board, and my commissioner of education is the minister of education was our mother ministry. But one day, just I don't have to mention
Yeah.
names.
Yes, sir.
One day, the governor invited me with the commissioner to his office.
Mm.
Maybe he was tipped that there was some money in our board, in
Mm.
our organization, that he wanted award contracts of social, and he wanted me to go and prepare. Tomorrow, I bring papers according to him to for him to approve. So you see, from the moment he closed his mouth, I know that I will not do that.
Mm.
I will not do it. But and decorum demands that I can't say to him no.
Yes.
So I have to make some maneuvers to send the message. Then I told him that it's not possible, sir. But why? From that I said it's not possible,
Mm.
I saw his face was
Yes.
not happy about the response. But why? So, sir, the state government bans uh, overtime, and we cannot meet the demand from today to tomorrow, 10 o'clock, as you have said. It's not possible. Even if I recall it was a Thursday. Let's say, even if we have to work through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we cannot finish it because at that time we had about 100 plus pieces of jobs to be issued out. So I say it's not possible because the workforce is the same thing.
Mm.
The moment the closing hours are on, we just depart. And today is Thursday, tomorrow Friday. We don't work on Saturday, Sunday. He said that he will pay the
Overtime.
overtime, and we work throughout the weekend. It's okay, sir. And look at the period I talked about is 1998. At that time, we had over 100 million in our coffers. You see, the challenge here is you just either you succumb, you enjoy the beauty, but you refuse, and you destroy your image. You enjoy the beauty, you lose your fame and the prestige, integrity, and if you refuse, the possibility is that you are sacked and bring someone to do the dirty job. Well, when I considered
Possibilities.
those possibilities, those criteria, as I have told you, I just convinced myself that this is not possible for so many reasons. One, as a person, no one will believe me that to say that that job has been awarded without me enjoying anything out of it. Even if I say that, people will not believe me. That is one. Number two, the director was given verbally,
Not written.
not written. If anything is going to be written, I will be the first person to write it. Because he called me verbally, he told me this is what he wants. But when when the arrangement for the award of the jobs is finished, I have to send it with a cover letter. So I'm the first person who wrote. So in the long run, it will be interpreted as I had been the initiator of the whole thing. You see? So I said, no, I will not do that. Thirdly, I am a family man. If that has boomeranged, I have, I have not done justice to my wives, to my children, to my parents, to my in-laws, because anybody who has any attachment, good attachment with me, when I am disgraced in society, he will feel bad.
For sure.
The only person who will enjoy it is my enemy. So why should I sacrifice the interest of all these people to make my enemy happy? So I have considered so many things. I said, no, I will not do this. Even if I'm going to be sacked, I would rather be sacked. And immediately I went back to my office. I summoned all the principal staff. I said that this is the situation, but I take it. I have not given anybody a mandate to sign anything on my behalf. I'm the executive chairman. Only the word can tell me what to do. And the governor himself didn't know that he didn't have the power to approve
True.
to approve those from. Since we have board,
Yes.
board is the final
authority.
He didn't know that. So that the only thing that could happen, I told them, is that I can be sacked and bring someone. Then I will prefer that. But I will not, and I repeat, I will not sign it, and I have not given any of you mandate to sign anything on my behalf. By that time, it was only 2 weeks left for the government to
change.
to go. So I just leave the town. They searched for me and they couldn't find me. So you see, it's a very great challenge. Just you have to suffer and you have to endure just to protect the little success you have achieved, the integrity people are looking you with. Otherwise, if I just stumble and fall down, do I have enough time to remedy what I have lost? I don't have it.
True.
So the reason why I am making this suggestion is to encourage people to stand for what they believe in. particularly you, the youth. If you believe strongly that what you stand for is the correct thing, just endure any hardship that will face you.
Okay.
Yes. So by that, I'm sure you will succeed.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. We'll have to round up now, but this particular question has been in my mind. It's not even on the book.
Yes.
I know you personally that you're a father, a grandfather, an
Mm.
elder statesman, and all of that.
Yes.
Please address us as your children, knowing all the challenges you mentioned and the things you know that we could do better. Please advise us. What should we do to have a better life in this day and time?
You see, I have said it earlier.
Yes,
Just make these guidelines be. It's universal. It has nothing to do with any particular religion or any particular tradition, because the there are requirements which is common to all the human beings. Whoever you are, whatever religion you are following, whatever your tribe is, you have faith in something, be it divine or
yeah,
otherwise. You have faith in something. Whatever tribe you are, whatever religion you are following, whatever uh, geographical location you live in, you you are interested to be a man of integrity, isn't it?
it's true.
Whatever your tribe is, whatever your religion is, whatever your color is, whatever location you live, you you want to be secured. Your security is very important. And the final one is that everybody would want to feel that he has not infringed on the right of anybody. Because these four things, if you go by them, you endure that anyone which fails, you just leave the whole thing entirely. And you have to make it at the back of your mind that you have the time to build. The time to build is very vast, but the time to destroy is just a matter of 2 3 seconds. So don't allow the glamour of 2 3 seconds, or let's say about 5 minutes, you to enjoy and destroy what you have spent decades building. If you have that feeling that I have to be a man of integrity, I have to protect my faith, I have to make sure that I and my family are secured, and I am willing not to infringe upon the right of anybody. Well, you don't have any problem there. What is yours is yours. It must come to you. No one can prevent you, even though people say that this is religious, because there are people who are not willing to go in accordance with their religion. But fortunately enough, in this country, you are either a Christian or a Muslim, isn't it? The rest, even though their religion is not divine, but they consider it a sacred something. They go by it. So whatever you are defending, try to be faithful in your faith, then everything will follow. And try to believe that you can make it.
Okay.
I think in life nothing is impossible if you try. If you try. Maybe you have come across in life, you have come across so many people who suffered much to reach a certain status. And finally, even though they came across a harsh train, but still they have achieved what they wanted.
True.
So if you say that you are going to do it in a hurry, then you are bound to fail. This is why I don't personally, I'm saying this between man and God. I don't rush in anything. I know whatever is mine is mine. Whatever is not destined for me, it will not come to me.
For sure.
So this made me to remember one thing.
Okay.
Those people who are not close to me, they tend to describe me as a very simple person, which is not their fault because I know sometimes I behave like even a fool when I'm offended. I don't usually show,
Retaliate.
but I have some certain limits. If I reach that, then I will not allow anybody to go a step further than that. I will look at your face, whoever you are, and I will say no. In Hausa, we have a proverb which says, "Kowa ya wuya sannaki." Even the wise knows the meaning of no.
Okay.
You see, so the moment you say no, it's finished. And you stand by that no. So you may be simple, but at a certain level, you have to be rigid because that rigidity is to protect your integrity, is to protect your security, is to provide your security, is to protect your faith, is to protect the interests of others. The narration I have given you about that governor.
Yeah.
If I have not stick to my gun, uh, the whole people of Gaza State will be cheated just for my personal interest. Because I know that if this
Project.
project is awarded, I'm going to have some benefit. But the fact is, I would be cheating the entire population of Kazan State. So I really think youth can do it. It's not a monopoly for only the elders. After all, at one time we were
Youth as well. True.
so
Very true.
easy.
Very true.
It is on the building from one state to the other. What we inherited from our forefathers and what life has taught us, we put together and just make our own decision, make our own plans for life.
True.
Yes.
True. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate this.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
sir.
Yeah.